Alright, so how much does everyone know about what we're doing here?
We are officially a science research institute, but I imagine us having access to these extensions of heroic spirits' legacies denotes that that isn't fully the case.
You catch on quick. Alright.
Here
No.
I thought we were just going to protect the coral or something.
No, we're not so lucky. No, there is no quarrel. Don't tell the people who write taxes that, though. It's what we use as an excuse. Alright. Ah, shit, okay. Hold up, I'm getting another call from Flat. Can someone get the door real quick? Wait, so outside. Alright, Jade, you have 3 attempts.
Oh no.
It's Mastermind, baby. You got 3 attempts.
So checking to make sure we're not AI.
Yeah.
Does this still follow the same rules
Yep. Yes, it does.
as... So... If I might check, the fact that red and white both have red means there's neither of those in the puzzle.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah, you got it. You got the magic golden door puzzle. You could have just clicked the unlock and it would have worked.
Fucked up.
Alright, I'm back. Okay, we got the werewolf situation under control. They're gonna need to do repairs on the clock face, though. Ah, damn it. Alright. Come on. Follow me. Here at Chaldea, our primary mission statement is to deal with any servant-related phenomenon. Now, normally that means, just dealing with people who may be trying to summon ghost liners or otherwise using spiritual evocation for purposes that would jeopardize Magecraft as a whole. We usually send out agents for that. However, what we are dealing with here is a full-scale, magical, scientific phenomenon that requires our full attention. It is something that threatens the very fabric of reality, and we have started using reflections in service of diving into it. To explore it, to categorize it, and, if possible, dispel it. Alright. Hello, Jingle. Oh, hey boss, how you doing? I'm doing alright, Jingle. Alright. Can you open up the windows and show these folks what we're dealing with? Alright, sure, are you sure? Yeah, no, these are the new recruits we have for today. It's about time we show them the big thing. Now, I want you all to understand that what this is what this looks like is not what this is. But what we have here is a phenomenon that has 2 manifestations. An effect and a source. I would like for you all to see Midas. As you look into it, you can see bubbling golden mass. Not quite metal, not quite magma, not quite liquid. Roiling over itself in waves and plumes. Like a gas, like a liquid, like a solid. Like energy made matter. Like matter taken away from its core properties. This is Midas. This is what we're fighting.
Like Midas's touch.
Yeah, no,
Turns things to gold.
you got it, yeah. It doesn't turn things to gold, though. That would not be a threat. We could handle that. No. What we have here is... We only called it Midas, really, because it fit and because of the gold. Midas in itself is a multifaceted, efficiency-draining, universal, entropic phenomenon. At least that's what Xenon calls it. I just prefer to call it the leech. So, alright. I'm gonna need you to pay attention on this one because this might be a little bit hard to follow. He walks over to the computer. Jingle, can you pull up the diagnostic? Yes, sir. What we have here, as he shows you all a chart. I don't actually have an asset for the chart, but you can imagine it. Usually, whenever anything uses any energy, there's a certain amount of it lost. Whenever work is put into something, the efficiency of it decreases, depending on circumstances. If you use a hand crank, the efficiency will be different depending on if it's made of metal or wood, because of the material composition. Are you following me so far?
Yes.
Alright, good. This is about to get a lot more complicated from here. So, work is the energy put into the output that is made from that work. Now, Midas, as far as we can tell, has been around for at least a year or two at this point. We can't quite tell for sure, but it essentially takes all phenomena. Every transfer of energy that involves work. When coal is burned to generate heat, it takes a little bit of that. It decreases the efficiency of that action artificially, and takes a bit of the energy for itself, siphoning it away rather than just dispelling it into other mediums. If you send electricity through a wire, not all of the electricity is getting flown through. Some of it is lost along the way, and some of it is dispersed as heat. It's never really destroyed or created, it's just transferred into different things along the way, usually by a percentage. Midas is essentially tapping into the wire and draining even more energy in some nebulous form. It's not just turning electricity into heat and taking that away. It's taking the electricity runoff being turned into heat and sapping from that. Do you follow me?
So it siphons energy from other things that create, well, as you said, energy.
Not just the creation side of it. Anything that uses or transfers or create or transforms energy. If you take coal and burn it to make heat, it takes a little bit of that. If you take that heat and use it to create steam, it takes a little bit of that energy in the molecules of the water. And if you take that steam that's being used to power a turbine, it takes a little bit of that force. And then so on and so forth all the way down. The real danger here is that it's not just targeting things that make energy at a certain level. It's that it's targeting everything and taking a little bit from it. The hole you're seeing here was way smaller a couple years ago, near unnoticeable. But as time has gone on, it's been sucking up more and more energy. It's been increasing the percentage it takes. It's been taxing everything. Of course, people haven't noticed it because we've been trying to keep it on the down low, and it is relatively a negligible percent. But imagine a 1% tax on everything that uses energy. Every wire, every computer, every microwave, every furnace, every windmill. Everything. Nothing is safe. Yeah, the pit of magical golden energy you're seeing before you is a byproduct. This is the drain, and all this energy is just clogging around it. That's how much it's taking. And if things progress, we have a couple theories of what might happen. We don't know why it does this, we don't know how it happened, we don't know if it was purposeful or if it's just a natural phenomenon of some kind. But what we do know is that the percentage will keep increasing. It'll keep taxing more and more from every energy transaction the world over. And that's dangerous. Do you understand why we need to deal with this immediately? Why we're dealing with this so urgently?
Yeah, I kind of see the urgency.
Yeah. I know it might kind of be kind of hard to comprehend from your perspective, but like, everything has so many layers of energy usage nowadays, it's become absurd how much energy is in here. Mr. Darniak, do you understand?
I understand it completely. It's a culminating threat. The more energy is used and transferred, the more layers it has to take from it.
Yep.
One action can become one drain, becomes two actions, becomes two drains, until it perpetuates, until the world itself is incapable of correctly transferring energy. You could eventually get to the point where, when you try to burn coal for heat, you get nothing, when the world is already suffering the shortages of all types of power.
Well, if it takes energy from anything that produces it, wouldn't that also mean any minimal action like walking or even breathing?
Yep. Like I said, it's a mostly negligible percentage point, but the fact that it's been increasing exponentially recently is the worrying part. It's a problem, but we could have kept it on the back burner and tried to figure it out over years. But if you get tired of a millisecond earlier than usual in your morning run, that's MIDAS. If you eat food and feel less full, if you don't have the energy you would normally get out of caffeine, I mean, that's probably just a tolerance building up, but it could also be MIDAS. But like I said, negligible percentages on certain transactions.
So how would we rid of this?
Well, that's the kicker. The first expedition we did into MIDAS, since this is something you can physically touch and we stepped in, this is a hole in the world, essentially. So we had the first expedition dive in. They started analyzing the aspects of the energy and materials being made here, but suffice to say, MIDAS is more than just a drain, it's a connection point. It's an outlet and it is a drain on our world. And there are things in there that you would not believe. First expedition managed to figure a lot of this out, at a cost of some lives. The second expedition was not as successful, but nobody was harmed. That one had a different purpose, but I can't talk about it here. And you all are part of the third expedition. We want to send you into MIDAS, because we found something here. He pulls up on the computer something else. Jingles is kind of staying to the side, like, alright, guess my boss is micromanaging me. Cool. Alright. What we found on the second expedition is this. He pulls up what looks to be an energy graph, a spectrogram of the various distributions here and there. Certain areas of MIDAS have far more energy collected into far finer points. Think of it like a ley line node or a bulging pipe. The energy is accumulating here and we don't know if it's purposeful or not. So, we want you all to explore, to see firsthand what we can't scout out with drones or unmanned familiars or anything like that.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. Now I'm back.
Damn, you just all the signs. But for now, yeah, that is the general explanation. We want you and many of the other Reflection users to go out in teams to explore the insides of MIDAS and find out why energy is accumulating here, and if possible, if we can reclaim it. Does that make sense? You still following?
Yeah, no, it makes sense. See if we can figure out why it's happening. Way to reverse it, or stop it at least.
The amount of energy that's been accumulated at this point is frankly scary. I mean, even just a 1% tax on every transaction in the modern world probably would build up enough to power an entire a small country for a day. So you can imagine the amount of energy in here is something that we need to reclaim. Unfortunately, we haven't made much progress on that. Even if the whole of the world is open right in front of us, we still have so much we don't understand. And that frustrates me. I hate that. So we're sending in people to look at it firsthand. And that also plays into why we aren't using servants, for the most part. We're using reflections because they're more energy efficient, to be plain about it. by developing a legend in your own, by gestating a story and a weapon you can use yourself. It is far more efficient than trying to summon a ghost liner and using it as a scout or a weapon in this place. Especially since it absorbs energy, we don't even know if servants could go in there. Hence why we're taking off bits and pieces of legends and handing them to you to build into something new. Because we can rely on that. Now,
Less energy transfers and all that.
yep. Now, I think that it's about time we go see it head on. I want you all to go into this room over here, go get suited up. We're gonna go dip our toes into Midas so that you can see it firsthand, alright?
Oh boy.
Oh,
Hey,
so
Lucas,
we're
oh boy.
going- Okay, I'm down for this. Let's go.
Alright.
We are coming back, I assume, right?
Yeah, this is a cursory dip in. We've had other people dip in before. It should be fine.